Today I'm going to make some homemade pork tamales. The day before I always get my pork meat ready. It makes it a lot easier. I get about a 4-pound pork roast, cut it up, and I add an onion and 3 cloves of garlic. Cook it for add some salt and pepper, about a teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of pepper. Cook it about a couple of hours and then strain off the broth. And then when it cools off, you can pull the meat apart and kind of get it shredded as best you can. Get the fat and any kind of gross parts that you don't want in your meat. Get all the fat off. Save the broth, put it back in your meat. Add about a tablespoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of black pepper, 2 teaspoons of chili powder, 2 teaspoons of ground comino, 2 teaspoons of red pepper flakes, because our family likes it spicy. Chopped up jalapeno, and also a chopped up whole onion. Cook it in the broth for about 4 or 5 more hours till it's good and tender and it falls all apart. You want to shred it up really good. You might add a few more spices after it gets done to your tasting if you like. This seems to be pretty close to what we like in our spices. Now we need some red sauce that goes in our tamales too. It goes in our tamale dough, and it's pretty simple to use. To make is just about a 1/4 cup of lard, and you want to make like a roux. When that melts, you add flour. Turn your fire on about a medium heat. Teaspoon of salt. A can of whole tomatoes, about a 1 pound 12-ounce can of whole tomatoes. Blend those up. And you're making like a roux sauce with your lard and your flour and your salt. Also in your tomatoes you have 1 clove of blended up garlic, a 1/2 cup of chili powder, you mix that up really well. It makes a real good red sauce for your tamales. Put your tomato sauce or your blended up whole tomatoes and a cup of water. Let that cook for a little while. Mix it up really well and get that chili powder all mixed up. It doesn't take it long to thicken up. You just want it to simmer for a little while and thicken up to like a gravy consistency. And while that's simmering and cooking, you can get your corn husks, put them in some warm water and soak them. And because these are real dry, you soak them in some water, and when you get your meat and your sauce ready, these will be ready to turn them into tamales. Okay, now the red sauce is done. It's been about 10-15 minutes. Let it simmer and cook. It's nice and thick. And now it's time to make your dough for your tamales. I got the corn husks soaking in the water. Got my steaming pan ready. Now it's time for the dough. Take 9 cups of the masa flour, 2 cups of the red sauce, 2 cups of this. You also, in your flour, You put 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of black pepper. And then you could add your lard. It's 3 cups of lard. This makes a pretty big batch. It probably makes about 4 dozen. Now we have our lard. And you mix 7 cups of warm water, so it can melt all this lard. And you want to mix it really well with your hand mixer. And sometimes you might need to add a little bit more water. It might take a little bit more water. It depends on how dry your flour. You want it like a thick cake batter. Okay, now I made the tamale dough, and it looks kind of like that. You don't want it too dry because then you'll have dry tamale dough. You want it kind of light and fluffy and creamy, just like that. You have your corn husk that's been soaking in your water. You take a couple of tablespoons of the dough. Make it about like a rectangle shape. Try to smooth it out evenly. And take about a tablespoon or so of your meat, your shredded up pork meat. Put it evenly. Meet both of the sides like that together. Fold that over, and then you fold your bottom. And then you got a tamale. You fill up your basket. This one holds about 24, maybe a little more tamales. And then you steam them on a medium heat. After you get all of them done, about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. Then you can turn them off and cool them off. I will show you the finished product in about an hour and a half. And I'll show you how they look. Okay, my tamales have been steaming for about an hour. You have to kind of keep an eye on it. Make sure you have plenty of water on the bottom. Not too much, about a half an inch or so within that hour. Just keep an eye on it. While those were cooking, I made about 24 more tamales. I'm just going to show you a couple more. You just get a couple of tablespoons. Spread it out. You want it smooth, not too thick. Then you get a couple of tablespoons of your meat. Put it right in the middle. Bring them together. And some people tie little. You can tie little. You can get one of these, tie little string. Wrap it around. Do like that. So it'll stay together. Once you get the system down, it's not so hard. Smooth it out. Then you got another batch ready to steam. Alright, it's been an hour. I usually get a towel and put the tamales are really hot. Just lay them on a towel to cool. It takes them about 30 minutes to cool. And once you get these out, you're ready to put your other ones in and give them about an hour. Just make sure you have plenty of, about a half an inch of water in the bottom of your steamer. I'm getting my second batch of tamales out of the steamer. I made about 5 dozen. I was just going to show you how nice they look. They firm up after they cooled about 30 minutes. And you can put the red sauce on it. It's really good. Or you can make some queso to put on them. Or you can just eat them like this. Well, I hope that helped y'all, and thank you for watching.